The whole matter began, so far as I'm concerned, with the unprecedented Vermont floods of 1927. The rain poured down for days, and the flooding was extensive. It washed all kinds of things into the rivers, and people reported seeing strange things floating in the water. As the floodwaters receded, there was a widespread tendency to connect these sites with a primitive, half-forgotten cycle of whispered legend, which old people resurrected for the occasion. Well, many of my friends appealed to me to shed what light I could on the subject.
I thought all copies had been lost. Didn't Armitage have the last one known? I thought it was ruined in that business last year.
Yes, that was the last known printed copy. This is Davenport's original manuscript, and all his notes.
The original?
Yeah, there's knowledge in those pages. It's recorded nowhere else.
It's quite a find. What will you do with it? Another book?
Sure, eventually. But right now, I have a more immediate use for it. I've been going over the notes in preparation for this absurd debate.
That radio program? Albert, you shouldn't do it.
Dean Hayes insists. I mean, after all the back and forth in the newspaper columns about the bodies washed up in the recent flooding.
You should have left it alone, Albert.
I'm a folklorist, Nate. Nobody in this world knows more about this particular area of folklore than I.
And you think that with Davenport's note?
Exactly! Even 100 years ago, Eli Davenport was hearing the same stories. A hidden race of monstrous beings is said to lurk somewhere in the remoter hills, in the deep woods of the highest peaks. Evidence of their existence was seen by those who ventured far up the slopes of certain mountains, or in the deep, steep-sided gorges that even the wolves shunned. Davenport collected countless tales detailing their supposed origins. Here, look at this. Illustrations that have never been seen. Tales of settlers who vanished and others who collaborated with the things.
I'm familiar with these legends. And I'm sure you're right, but you can't debate it.
You'll have to be there in less than an hour. It's being aired on the NBC net.
Cancel it. You know who you're going up against?
Charles Fort?
And you think you can go on the radio and debate a best-selling author with countless fans, the world's most prominent expert on unexplained phenomena? How is this going to help your cause?
Look, I can convince people.
With the minutia of obscure New England folklore. You only stand to lose here.
Nate, this is my life's work. The whole reason to study folklore is to help us understand how and why we create myths. People can't go around believing that each bolt of lightning is a spear thrown by Zeus.
It isn't Zeus I'm worried about.
Okay, no, you're making this sound like one of those nameless cults you investigate. I know you've had some rough experiences, but...
I'm telling you, you have nothing to gain from this debate.
Come on. Your old pal Charlie Tower will be there. He's footing the bill for the whole thing.
Albert, I've met Ford. His style may be strange, but he's smart. Be careful what you say.
Perhaps I should have taken Nate Ward's advice. Charles Fort was popular among the students for his open contempt for science and his extravagant books. Charlie Tower, a friend and wealthy Miskatonic alumnus, paid to bring him to campus for the debate. See, Tower had funded a number of university expeditions, flew airplanes, traveled the world. He enjoyed stirring things up, and had Dean Hayes wrapped around his finger. The host of the program was some sort of toothpaste salesman, not a moderator or journalist of any kind.
I've collected books full of evidence in support of the idea that there are worlds beyond our own, and people, creatures, call them what you will, that have come here from somewhere else.
So you believe these creatures are alien beings of some kind?
I don't believe or disbelieve anything.
Mr. Bradbury, I merely note the long history of remarkably consistent reports. The Pennacook Indians described similar things.
Did they not, Professor Wilmarth, ages ago?
Yes, they did, Mr. Fort. In fact,
They said that the beings were not native to this earth, that they had flown here from the stars. The later Puritan settlers described them, too, as creatures in league with Satan, only too happy to lead mankind down the path to sin.
now the folklore is abundant. My point is that it's the folklore that lies behind the recent reports. Frightened people have doubtless seen broken tree branches and other suggestive shapes in the water, and under the nervous strain of the moment have let their imaginations get the better of them.
But what lies behind the folklore?
What do you say, Professor?
Are you suggesting that these legends are literally true?
The descriptions of countless people across cultures and unconnected with each other have been amazingly consistent.
Well, I mean, they're also consistent with Nepalese tall tales of the dreaded Migo, or the abominable snowman of the Himalaya. I mean, I suppose you think those are connected as well.
Well, now that you mention it.
So you're actually saying that people have been seeing these large, winged, crab-like beings in the rivers of Vermont?
That's what I read in the papers.
Forgive me, Mr. Fort, but that's preposterous.
Oh, compared to what? Your explanation?
You'd have